What up, friends, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Shit Together with Mike Vaney. Today's episode we will be talking about the concept of actionable items. Actionable items are the discrete steps that you use to take yourself from where you are to where you want to be on your way to your goals. So an important precursor to applying actionable items to your everyday life is make sure that your goals are discrete, quantified, and temporally defined. Completion date. You know, I want this done. I need this much of it to be done by this time. I'm going to work out 3 muscle groups 3 times by the end of this week. Hooray! That's an actual item. That's a goal that you can now apply actionable items to. And an actionable item would be, you know, if you're a member of a gym, it'd be, all right, well, I'm going to drive to the gym after work, and you go do that, and then once you're there, the rest trickles into place. Other things, actionable items, it's important. Oftentimes you'll run into more complex goals. I need to create this complex document that has all these features. In order to approach goals of that nature, it's critical that you chunk the large goal into many small things. If you can divide it into groups, subsections, and then identify the needs of each of those subsections, now you can start applying actionable items to those individual needs. I need to figure out, I'm going to need to write requirements for these 4 parts, and each of those 4 parts is going to need to have pictures. And so actions that you could apply would be, all right, I'm going to review the source document that gives me requirements. I'm going to notify people that can help me get the pictures that I need. I'm going to go take my pictures and bring them to the document, and then I'm going to format. Those would be actionable items that apply to a single chunk, and you repeat those actions for multiple chunks, and you actually get something done. The thing is, not everybody thinks this way, but when you do, you find out that you can really take on enormous things that you otherwise could not, especially once you tap into the power of delegating, which is fucking awesome. It's like, hey, I need this discrete thing done. And that's way better to do with actionable items because it turns it into an input-output thing. It's much harder to delegate complex tasks because you can tell somebody, I need this thing done, and they might come back with a thing that is done, but whether it's this thing that you asked for, that's anybody's guess. So, making sure that what you're asking for is discrete, actionable, that's awesome. I think more importantly, it's difficult to talk about this topic in the affirmative, just because it sounds so dumb and straightforward. It sounds like, oh, you mean you get things done by doing things? No, but if you actually start thinking about this concept and really embracing it, you'll find out how much time is spent on non-actionable things. Let's discuss this. Discussing usually means a bunch of people throwing out ideas that don't mean anything. Derp, no. Arguments, often that you'll see on the interwebs, they're typically chock full of non-actionable things. People talking about philosophies in general with poorly defined concepts that don't go anywhere. And maybe that's me being a harsh critic, but I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway. Other non-actionable things, defining statuses. Usually, oftentimes you need to know statuses to make meaningful decisions, but that itself should be a just small action that's set up by some system that figures it out for you and updated with a process owner or whatever, that you can though just go query the status, and then once you query the status, then you can start building actions off of it. That's more for production environment, but you know, that's important. Basically, anytime you find yourself sitting around talking about stuff for a while and not getting anything done, usually means you don't understand what you're trying to get done overall. And it also means that you haven't chunked things properly. And so instead, I strongly recommend that you approach goals by looking at the big picture, getting into tiny chunks, killing each of those chunks via actionable items, and you'll find that you reach your goals much quicker. This has been a Get Your Shit Together with Mike Bainey. I hope you enjoyed it. Make a goose honk.